Yeah, I looked at the website, and these are $500 tickets.
Nice. So, is there a TV screen where you're going to be able to see the action when it's not near you? Somewhere close by?
Right in front of them. Yeah, big jumbo crowd. I mean, we can see the front stretch, we can see turns 1 and 2, we can't see the back stretch, and then we can see 3 and 4 all the way in front of us. So honestly, it's basically the same view that we had from our seats yesterday. Just a little different, a little further down. Because you can't see the back stretch here unless you're way high.
Mm-hmm. Hey, put yourself in the frame. There you go. We keep losing your face.
Well, I have to, my arm is like literally as far extended as possible when I do this.
Oh, yeah, they don't let you carry selfie sticks into the places no more. Although they let me have my little handheld thing last time. They didn't see it in my bag probably, but yeah. So we're live right now. So if you want to say hi to anybody before you jump off, go for it. Live from the track, Adam Rogers.
We're tuning into our pre-race live for the Team Blaney podcast. We do this sporadically. Steve's been pretty good about hopping on here most weeks. So Steve's at the command center. I'm live at Talladega. That's one of the races that we have on our schedule for this year. Up here in the turn 4 balcony area, we're going to be watching the race for today. So, a nice view of turn 4, nice view of pit entry. I told Steve that I'm hoping that we have some green flag pit stops today, because that's one of the most exciting parts. For Ryan fans, you'll remember 2019, an exciting flag pit stop that's now referred to as the fifth win, even though he spun on a Sunday and won on a Monday, so that was kind of odd. But that happens here. We had green flag stops in the Xfinity race yesterday. That, for the most part, went pretty well. But there's still always interesting seeing those guys trying to hit pit road and blow the cars down. It's fun when you know ahead of time from the scanner traffic or something that they're taxing about the pit, because then you can poke your neighbor and say, "Hey, watch coming out of 4," and then you'll see the manufacturers kind of peel off. So, we've had a good time. We got to see our friends Justin and Chelsea and a ton of Blaney fans yesterday at the Advanced Auto Parts in Pell City, Alabama, which is about 20 minutes from the track. Ryan sat down and did autographs for about 150 fans. Lots of cool stuff out there. Lots of people with sheet metal and die cast. Got to catch up with Ryan and some of his folks there. So that was nice to see them and chat them up a little bit.
You'll be able to show later this week the cooler you got it autographed too, and that was pretty cool. So that'll be
maybe we'll tease about that on our race recap or something. Bring that up. I promised everybody that our background might have the quarter panel back there. And again, to get that Dex Imaging 2018 Ford Fusion quarter panel from Ryan. So that was kind of cool. Got that autograph. Got him some new Team Blaney stickers. So he tucked those away. Hopefully we'll see those somewhere. So what are you, we were on some lives today talking about race winners, and obviously we want the 12 car to win. The 12 car doesn't win, Steve. Who is your maybe sleeper pick for the day?
This whole Zane Smith getting the pole thing, it was fabulous yesterday, but I don't see him up front anywhere during the race. I think whatever they did to adjust the car to make it that fast is not going to be very good in race trim. So I have a feeling his handling is going to be crazy bad at the beginning of this race. And until they can adjust it during the race, I think he's not in trouble, but I don't think he's going to stay out front very long.
I think it's a possibility. I mean, I will say front row with Michael McDowell has sat on the pole here. They've still found a way to run up front, but normally it's by the end of the day after there's been some carnage. And then in turn, he would cost more.
Right.
So, yeah, that works. Yeah, I mean, Zane was my, I think, he was my sleeper pick before he even sat on the pole. But maybe you're right. Maybe them being super trimmed out is not a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Zane has the skill and ability to handle it, but it's just kind of one of those things when you got all those other guys around you.
He doesn't have the spotter that he had last
Scary.
year that could lead him to the front, much like he did
Yeah,
with Conversilla, who, if not for one move at the end, probably was going to win that Xfinity.
yeah. We tuned into Josh yesterday after the 39 got crashed out, and Josh was doing a masterful job talking to that kid, getting him up front, and then handling it up front. I don't want to say it was a racing deal, but I mean, at that point, all bets are off. You're on the last lap, and he tried to cover a move, and he just tried to cover it maybe a hair too late, or
Yeah,
Jesse Love decided not to back off.
yeah. I mean, I can't fault Love for what he was doing. I mentioned to you that those two are like best friends. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
We'll talk it out and look it over. But I put it in our Discord, but the screen grab of that 88 hitting the inside wall. I mean, that safer barrier basically gave all it had. It was pretty intense. And then
yeah,
obviously, you go to social media and you see everyone complaining about the caution coming out. I mean, when a guy hits the wall that hard, I can't. I don't care where it is. They got to get somebody out there.
yeah.
Priority.
You can't race. You can't race past. You can't race past, but you got to hurry up and get out there and take care of him because he was in a lot of pain over the radio, listening to him yell. He ow 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 ow. I mean, he was yelling ow ow ow. And you never want to hear that on the radio. Well, you guys have a good day out there.
Yeah, thanks for having me hop on here with you for your pre-race show, and you can stick on a little bit more if you want to talk about fantasy, and then let people know when they can watch it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're good.
See you later.
We'll try to see. Good. Later. Thanks, Adam. Hey, thanks, man. All right, that's Adam. He was checking in from the track for us, and that was cool of him to do. Take a couple seconds of his time and do that. Let me get this switch back around here. Those who are watching live, we'll flip the camera here, and we'll click Adam off of there. There we go. We're back into one spot here. So yeah, thanks. Tara's on our live now, and thanks Adam for jumping in real quick. It was hard to do at the track, but we wanted to try it out with our new little system there on Facebook and on YouTube too. So what's up, Jason? How you doing? Thanks for checking in. I'm sorry I didn't have the chat up and going there, but we got it going now. And right now we were just going to talk about fantasy real quick before we go anywhere. It's funny, like Bob puts out the 7 sets of tires and the stages and everything, and then he puts his 5 picks out there, and he had he had Ryan in his top 5, and it just kind of, all these races are so scary till you get to the last stage, so it's so hard to tell what's going to happen. You're hoping that that everything goes good for everybody, but I don't know. I kind of picked a couple guys outside the box a little bit just because I haven't used them much, but anybody can run up front. What you really want to look at is in the first two stages, who's going to run and try to win some stage points. We know the 12 team will, we know the 2 team will, the 21 actually is going to race for stage points a lot now that he knows he's in the playoffs. So those are the kinds of guys you want to look out for in the next couple stages today. So how good do they manage their fuel 3 wide during the stage? They're going to have to pit one time. How quick is the pit stop? How much gas did they get in there? Can they get to the end of the stage? Can they get in the front of everybody else? Control the line. So hopefully all those things work out. And that's what makes plate racing anybody's ball game too. So, any of the Hendrick guys who didn't qualify well could be up there if their pit stops go well within all the Chevy teams. And if they all pit by manufacturer, they all try to. Doesn't always work out that way. Kind of depends on what line you're in and where you're at. So, like I said, today, picking a fantasy matchup is really, really hard to do. I don't know if it really matters to the last stage. This is something like that these guys ought to ought to on the NASCAR app ought to give you like 3 replacements so that if anybody wrecks, because you're not even allowed to make the swap after stage 3 starts. So hopefully nothing happens in the first 2 stages and a bunch of guys gather up some stage points to begin with, and you've got them in your lineup. But I am going to start Ryan. Um, Josh Berry is going to be in there at some point. Austin Cindric, because the 3 of them together are probably in the front. I don't trust Joey as far as I can throw him, although he's really good at it. It's just sometimes he seems to make a squirrely move that drives everybody crazy. Guys like Daniel Suarez will be a good guy to have today. I saw Wendy's was going to be on sponsoring on his car, so that's kind of cool. He got his like Wendy's outfit on. Uh, I don't know who else I would really look out for. The Zane Smith qualifying on the pole is kind of cool, but on the other hand, it's kind of scary because I don't know if, like I said, the handling is going to be that good on the car after qualifying like that with that car. But then again, that program has done really well at putting cars on the pole at super speedways. So, that's right. Chelsea and Tara, Tara's got the front stretch. Well, she's got going to pit road covered, and Chelsea has the back stretch covered. I want to see some cool pictures, Chelsea, from during the race from like on top there, what it looks like on the back stretch. Because I've only seen, of course, there's not really a lot of seating out that way, so it'd be kind of cool to see what the cars look like going down the back stretch. How far away from the track are you really? That'd be kind of cool to watch. But the terrace thing that Tara and Adam are set up on, they're going to watch all the cars braking as they come to pit road. So if there's a set of green flag stops, I'm hoping to see some good video of what that looks like. Everybody kind of trying to get the brakes and slow it down coming to pit road. But yeah, I saw that people are chiming in. Lenny Howard, how's it going, Lenny? You guys all set for the race today? We're just talking about putting the lineups together, and usually I've got like I got like so many different thoughts on different people, and I really don't know who to go with today. As the extra people, I might change my lineup in the next half hour before we get there, but I can, any of these guys can get some stage points too. That's the other thing. So somebody who's won a race already this year might not be as worried about finishing up near the front at the end of the stages, but we know that Ryan's like the number 1 stage point guy in right now in the series. So I definitely want to see them out front after their pit stops, and hopefully it's all green flag pit stops today. Really don't want to see an accident. Would really love to see a clean race at Talladega, where the only cautions are the two stage cautions. That would be fabulous if we can get away with just doing that today. So we jumped on a couple minutes early. Just want to talk about coming ahead. Tomorrow night, usually around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, some of that range, we'll tape the podcast. We'll do it live on YouTube, on Facebook, and we'll try to chime in with TikTok also. And see, Zero the King says, I think we'll get a first-time winner today for this year, the 23 or the 60. You know what? That's very interesting that you mentioned the 60, because there's a guy who has taken the reins over there at RFK and really, really showed what he could do. So you definitely got an interesting pick there. And the 23, he is dangerous right now. Any of the tracks, they're running really well. The crew chief change, and I love Booty Barker, don't get me wrong, love him to death, but the crew chief change seems to have changed something over there at 2311, and it's really seemed to help Bubba, where they're running out front or running near the front a lot better this year. So yeah, those are some 2 very, very good choices on the day today. And RFK, running together. I mean, Brad is a guy who should be out front. So, for him to work with his teammates should be really, really a good thing today. The 17 and the 60 and the 6 all together, it could be there near the end, and it's only it's a good thing to have a whole nother Ford program up there helping, with the Penske guys. So yeah, like I was going to say, tomorrow night we'll tape the podcast. Like I said, around 8:30 Eastern, 9 o'clock, somewhere in that range. Usually during the week, either on Wednesday or Thursday, we'll pop in and we'll do a live. And when we do the live, we'll do it so that it'll be more interactive than when we tape the podcast. So if you get a chance to check that out, go ahead and do it. And we're going to try to do this every Sunday if we can, like a little pre-race show for the Ryan Blaney podcast and all the Ryan Blaney fans. Talk about qualifying, and then our fantasy picks. Like qualifying yesterday, single lap qualifying, Ryan went out like 35th, which was pretty good, I guess. The only thing that hurts is when they do this top 10 to go for the pole thing, because the later you go out, the less time you have to cool the engine, and the fluids are still a little warmer, but so on and so forth. But he put up an extremely good lap on the first attempt out and got all the way up to fourth. I would have liked for it to just end there, but they do go ahead and take the top 10, invert them, and let them go ahead and run a lap. And Zane put up another killer lap in the final for the pole, and Ryan ended up ninth. But the thing is he's ninth. He's got the 21 and the 2 running right with them, so he should have some teammates right off the bat. And the 2 and the 21, the 22 also made the top 10. So all the Penske and the Wood brothers are going to be right up in the top 10 to start the race. Be great to see if the 4 of them can get nose to tail pretty quickly without having to move anybody out of the way. That'd be kind of cool to see. If you get a chance to look at some things like that, tune into Max, definitely. Hopefully they've got the audio fixed this week so we can hear Tim on the radio telling the driver what's coming, what kind of runs are coming at him, and what to do. Really, really fun to listen to him yesterday, or Josh yesterday with Connor Zilish, when Connor was controlling the race. So it's funny to say about the Penske's crashing each other. It's not always. It's one guy in particular who seems to crash everybody. I hate to say that, but the 22 car is the guy I worry about the most. Centric is running really, really well up near the front, and at all these super speedway races. So, to see the 2 car and the 12 hookup would be really, really, really cool today. So, so if you guys get a chance, like I said, check us out tomorrow night about 8:30 when we go live with the podcast. We'll set the podcast not as interactive because we're actually taping it for audio also. So we kind of have our set little thing that we go through with all the different things during the podcast. We'll go through our race rundown, all the little things that hopefully I pick up off the radio today in my notes, any kind of significant things. It's not as intricate with super speedway racing because positions change constantly in a super speedway race. Not like when you get to a 1.5 mile track and you pass a guy and then a lap or 2 later pass a guy and whatnot. So that won't be as detailed, but then we'll do our fantasy wrap up too, see who finished top 10 in our fantasy live league, and we'll preview next week's race. So, make sure you tune in tomorrow night. Like I said, we'll be live on our Facebook page and on our YouTube pages, which is really cool. And then if you don't catch it live, those repost. So Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, if you want to go back and watch it, it'll be reposted. YouTube especially puts it right back on there. Facebook, you have to go back into our feed and look down there, but it'll be in there when we do a live. So, if you don't get a chance to catch us live, you can catch it later in the week, or anywhere that you download podcasts, it'll be in podcast form also. So make sure you check us out there. I want everybody to have a good race today. Hopefully it's a nice, fun day, of action and, non-related, any kind of cautions are non-12 related. And hopefully they're just up near the front, near the end, and have a chance at it. Because if you can get to the first row or 2 up there, he can get around whoever he needs to get around and make the great passes like he's done in the past. So thanks everybody for tuning into the lives, and everybody have a good race today, and we'll catch you later on the Team Blaney podcast.